Welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. My name is Keith Hampton, and I am a very happy, satisfied customer of a company called BitcoinTAF.com or BitcoinTrendAndForecast.com. BitcoinTAF is a group of people that have been involved in the cryptocurrency industry. Just bear with me a moment. Keith Hampton. I just had a little feedback there I had to fix. My apologies. Um, So the company is approximately 10 years old, and it was created by basically two individuals, a gentleman by the name of Marius and Wendy Landman. Marius is a unique individual. He's originally from South Africa, but he moved to the United States and got his university degrees there. And he was able to use mathematics and algorithms, and he was first utilizing them in the oil and gas industry. And he was actually in the safety side of the industry, which is the drilling and completion side, which is the highly dangerous area. And he started applying algorithms and data to that. And with that information, he was able to start predicting accidents, near misses, and major events. Now, in the early days, the industry was pretty confused how that could be. But over time, they proven that this was extremely accurate, so much so that it is being used today in the oil and gas industry all over the world to reduce the number of accidents and near misses and, of course, deaths. Since then, Marius has used those algorithms and training, and he's applied them to many other fields. He's applied it to the stock markets, he's applied it to the world events, and now he's applying it to the cryptocurrency industry. And it has been phenomenal. Marius's algorithms on a macro basis are extremely accurate. I mean, over the last 2 years, he is calling the journey of cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, to the T. In fact, I'm just going to share my screen and show you some of the things that he was able to deliver. So this is our website called BitcoinTAF.com. And I'd highly recommend that you come on in, sign up for free, and check out all the different things that this company has to offer because it has grown dramatically, tremendously over the last 10 years to basically offer a complete uh, group of services to people that want to get involved in the cryptocurrency space. Now, when I was talking about Bitcoin earlier, uh, this is a chart of Bitcoin over the last 2 years, and these are 3-day candles. And you'll notice a whole bunch of drawings that I put on this thing. In fact, this was the result of Marius's predictions that he gave us over 2 years ago of exactly how this was going to play out, including where we are right now. And this is a very interesting time because we've had a lot of fear and doubt enter into the market. I mean, this market has moved down quite significantly here over the last 30 days, I guess, basically. When you look at the top, it goes all the way back to early October, and we've had quite a drop. So the question is, if you are into this space, you really want to know where are we going forward. And there's a lot of predictions out there from many different people, but which one is correct? That's the million-dollar question. And fortunately, Marius gives us those reports and accuracy, those predictions. We know what's going to happen next. So we can be relaxed in knowing what was coming and knowing where we're going. So the bottom line is that we know that some people are predicting the market is going to simply rebound and go up, and just go straight up. Other people are predicting a short bounce and then sideways, more chop. And we've got others out there going, yeah, no, we might get a little false top and then we might be heading down. So the question is, which one is correct? And that's the beauty of being involved with Marius Landman and his long-term reports that he puts out. In fact, there's a discount for subscriptions right now on the website. His long-term predictions for Bitcoin are truly remarkable. So that's the key. If you really want to know where we're going, you need to have somebody like Marius on your side predicting those events. So that's what I wanted to talk to you today about. And not only is he working with Bitcoin, but he's also working with all of the altcoins as well. So for me, I am more of an altcoin investor, and I must be honest with you, I really like Marius's Elliott Wave chart patterns and predictions. He does weekly seminars or Zoom webinars answering people's questions on these markets, what's happening, where we're at, where we're going. And also, he produces PDF reports with all the guidelines that we can build our own charts and strategize on our investments in those markets. So, depending on your ability, I would recommend both programs if you can afford it. Or if you can only afford one, I would highly recommend the Elliott Wave chart because we utilize the Bitcoin as a base and then expand it from there. So those reports are really invaluable. And along with that, of course, is you want to have a team of people that you know and trust that are all pulling from the same way. They're all there for you to try and help you succeed in this marketplace. And that's really rare. The only agenda they have is they're all about helping others. These folks, quite frankly, they're so successful at what they're doing, they could just shut all this down and go off on their own and make lots of money and be happy, live happily ever after. But that's not who they are. That's not what they're about. They're about helping others. They're about making a difference in the world. And that's why I am so happy to be involved with them. They have really changed my life and helped me along the way. And I just can't say enough about their integrity and honesty. So along with the reports, we also get a lot of training and education because we need, as any investor, to be trained and educated in this space. And if you're going to be trained or educated in this, you want to go to the people that have some of the best training in the world. And that's what we have here at BitcoinTAF.com. We have a self-paced foundational trading course that you can take on a self-paced basis, or we also offer it in a live course as well, depending on the timing of the year. And then once you have your basics, we strongly recommend, or I should say, I strongly recommend that you seriously look at getting the ultimate day trading course. This course is by far, I'm going to tell you, I have taken other courses in the past from other people. I've paid 3 times the amount and got 1/3 the value. And that's what I'm talking about. This is the best bang for your buck for education. For $780, you folks will get the most exclusive and extensive training on analyzing the markets, how to analyze the markets, and how to project and make good, solid investments. This course is the best in the world, and I'm speaking from experience. This is the best. When you complete this course, it's like graduating from university with a PhD. You will become your own analyst. That's how powerful it is. And it's simply phenomenal. And along with that, we have many other courses. We even have a new tool out right now called the HODL Fire Indicator, and we even have courses on it if you're just working with one indicator. So we have something for everybody. This little HODL Fire tool is really quite remarkable. For $31 a month, if you are a macro investor, it works extremely well. I like to utilize it along with the medium-term reports that are put out by Nico LaRue, who also created the Ultimate Trade course. These work very, very well because he helps find coins that are about ready to break out and run. And then I utilize the training with the HODL Fire to be able to invest in those coins, to be able when to get in, when to take profit, when to wait, when to get back in again. Those are the things that I do. So these Elliott chip reports for long term are phenomenal. The MTT reports for like 30, 90-day reports are excellent. And the Holofire tool is really, really easy to utilize. In fact, what I'd like to do is maybe now show you how the Holofire tool works. It's really quite a unique tool. So I've got this particular coin called ICP, and it's set at 4-hour candles. And I like to use this on longer time frames, like 2 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour time frames, because I want to know where are in the market, where are we going? And so this tool called the HODL Fire, I'll just turn it on, actually is quite remarkable. What it does is that it shows us when we're at the bottom of momentum and where we're at the top of the momentum, or at bottom pivots, pivot to turn, and at the top pivot to turn. This is invaluable because if I know where the bottoms are coming in and when the tops come in, I can trade that all day long. So how it works and how I like to utilize it is, now I should clarify something. When you're at the front of the market, you notice that these pivot points are in black, whereas the pivot point here in the front is in blue. What that means is that it is not 100% confirmed that's a bottom pivot. That simply means that it's a high probability that it's a bottom pivot, but it's not guaranteed. Until it turns black, it could be a false bottom and it could go away. There's no indicator in the world that can predict 100% this until more time has gone by. So in other words, when you're at this level, there's a high probability that it will go up, but there's also a probability that it will do a false breakout and then keep coming back down as we see the trend here. So these are very important things that we need to work with when we are in this place. So my apologies here, I hit the wrong button. Let me just get rid of that. Sorry about that. Okay. So how I utilize this tool is I'm looking for bottom pivots. And what I'm looking for is added confluence or added confirmation that this is a higher probability that it is a bottom. So what I'm looking for is a bottom pivot and then a buy tag. Once I see that buy tag, that's when I'll start entering into the trade. But I always will protect my capital as well. In other words, I'm going to be using stop losses on the centralized exchanges. So how I would do it, back here, we had a bottom pivot and then we had a buy tag. So at that point in time, this is when I would have entered the market on that buy tag, which would have been about there. Now, this would have been blue back in those days, and I would want to reduce my risk. So what I would do in this case is set a stop loss slightly below that bottom pivot. So in this case, I am, of my investment, I'm really only risking here about 7%. So in other words, at about $1,000 on this trade, I'd be risking $70. I'd rather lose a small amount than lose the entire investment. And how I utilize this now going forward is I wait. And as this market is starting to move upward, what I do is I move my stop loss up to break even. Now I got a risk-free trade going on. So if the market suddenly turns and comes back down, guess what? I am out with no loss. That's the beauty of this. So now that this market is moving upward and I see it moving, then I slowly, patiently move my stop loss up into stop profit. Now, I always leave lots of room for it to move because you don't want to set your stop losses too tight. And then I simply keep moving it up, moving it up, moving it up until I get a pivot top. When I get a pivot top, that's when I exit the market. So I would, in this case, would have exited approximately right about there. And in this case, I would have had a very big win. This was an extremely big win. By the way, this was called for by Nico LaRue, who does the Ultimate Trading Course and does the MTT reports. So in this case, we would have locked in a very healthy 200% profit, and we only risked about 7%. So that is a ratio of about 31 to 1. I mean, that's just phenomenal. Now, going forward, here I am right now, and the market is turning around. If I'm just using this tool, I would have entered the market right here on this buy tag. I would be now setting my stop loss right here, just below that buy zone, or the pivot bottom. So again, I'm sitting on a trade right now as we speak with a chance of losing, in this case, about 12%. So of $1,000, I would lose $120 if this trade goes south on me. But if you notice, it's starting to move very well. It's breaking out. So as this is going forward, I simply start moving my stop loss up. Now I reduce my risk to 7%. So you can see if this keeps going, I can move my stop loss to zero even now and be in a risk-free trade. That's the beauty of utilizing this tool. So you can see for $31 a month, you can really utilize this tool for your trading purposes. And I highly recommend that you check it out. In fact, you can try it out for 7 days, a whole week for free, just by going into the checkout area and typing in HODL 7 in capital letters in the checkout area. Now, remember before I talked about another reports that they do? They also do these medium-term trend reports. And so I'm going to show you the same coin with that indicators in the training that I got with Nico in the Ultimate Trade course. So the MTT reports put out a lot of different information. And with the training of the course, you also get a lot more indicators. And these indicators is really what helps me make better decisions. So what basically he comes up with is he will give us a forecast. He's saying, look, this coin is looking good. So I see a bottom pivot area and I see strength, support, and resistance areas. So we could trade this. But how do I trade it? Well, if I'm utilizing the training from the Ultimate Trading course, basically what I'm doing is I'm looking for confluence in indicators that we are trained in. So first off, I'm looking for a trigger dot, a green one right here. And then I'm starting to look for, are we breaking above this EMA and are we breaking above this blue bull line? Then I'm looking for other confluence. Are we starting to break out where it's crossing the this indicator is crossing right there. And when I see all that, that's when I would have entered that trade. And I would have traded all the way up until we would have gotten a pivot top here of a red dot. And that's where I would have exited. We also would have exited because this was crossing down. Another indicator that we're going down. And so that's how I would have gotten in and out of that trade. And in this case, I would have got in basically about right here. I would have got out about here. And I'd locked in about 100% in that trade. Now, since then, by the way, these are 8-hour candles. We've seen we've been in a big downwards trend. And lo and behold, just take a look. What's happening here in the present? This is just broken out. We've now got a trigger dot right here. We are climbing up over the EMA. This would be a time when I would ladder back in. And I would set my stop loss, of course, back at the bottom area. Now, I could use all that information along with the HODL. And ironically, when I bring in the HODL, and I'm just going to take the buy and sell tags off just to make it a little easier to see on the screen, lo and behold, there was a bottom pivot. But I would be waiting on that bottom pivot until we got a little more confluence, and I would have gotten in. I would be more patient because with the training that I've got, they teach us patience to make sure we get enough confluence so that it really is on the momentum of an upswing. So at the top, notice lo and behold, we got a top pivot in conjunction with the red dot, in conjunction with this crossing down. So you can see that you can take all of this information and training and put it all together. The more confluence of indicators that you have, the better decision making that you can do in this market. So that's why I love working with this organization. It has so much to offer and so much training and education. It really is the best value out there in the marketplace. So if you wanted to learn more and want to get involved in the cryptocurrency space, then I highly recommend that you sign up for free, check out all the different indicators and information. You can certainly talk to us through support tickets. We have Telegram channels. We have all kinds of pre-training. And I really hope that you have the courage to step forward and sign up because the cryptocurrency space and the blockchain technology world is going to revolutionize the world as we know it. And so the more that you get educated and experienced in understanding it, you could be the success people going forward in the future because blockchain technology tied in with artificial intelligence and robotics is going to change the world like you've never seen. And we need, as human beings, to be aware of it. We need to stay on top of it. It's so invaluable. So I hope you have the courage to step forward. And with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to me today, and hopefully we will see you on the other side. Have a great day. Take care, folks.